All right, what is up, guys? It is your boy Gary back with some more secret sauce. So, as you can see, this video training is going to be one, very quick, and two, very helpful, hopefully. But it's on what I felt were the keys to becoming a top 1% realtor. Because a lot of things that I go over in this video have been requested by a lot of people. Apparently, everyone wanted to know my take on it, and I appreciate that. So, that's what I'm here to give you guys, and hopefully give you some value, make you some money, all that kind of good stuff. So let's get right into it. So the most important thing to me is that every part of your day should create an inherent flow state. If you're unfamiliar with flow, the equation of it is basically you have enough things to do that challenge you, but don't go overboard, but also aren't too easy. So it puts you in that state where you're probably, maybe you've been working on like homework assignment or even at work or whatever it is, and you just kind of lost track of time, and you just get everything done like super effectively, and you step out of it and you're like, well, what the fuck happened? I don't know what that was. I don't know what made me do this, but that is flow state, because for whatever reason you had some sort of challenge that was challenging but also achievable in a reasonable amount of time. So your brain wasn't overwhelmed, but it also wasn't bored and underwhelmed. So you found this nice middle ground where, you just got the work done. So with that said, these three things are what create flow in your day. It's organization, consistency, and accountability. And the reason why I feel those are very important is because, that's the way to build a successful business. And I can tell you from my own personal experience of not doing one or all of these things, I got punched in the balls. There's no other way to say it. I learned my lessons because I didn't have certain things in place, and I thought I was immune to it, and I was like, oh yeah, you're fine. I can just fly by the seat of my pants and be done. And yeah, that's not how it works. So that said, to get into organization, so what you want to start with is having daily planners. I know everyone tells you this, every life coach or whatever says to have a daily planner, and you don't want to do it because it's work. But I promise you, when you have that planner, you are just like, I'd say probably about 30% more clear on what needs to be done that day, which may not seem like a lot in the long run, but to start your day off, when you have that clarity, you're not sitting there, like you're not going to, so say you're a new realtor, this is going to be really, really geared towards like newer agents or just agents who, need these kind of things. It doesn't really matter where you are in the business. But say you're an agent who's going to your office and you just don't know what the hell you're doing that day. Like you don't know if you're cold calling, you don't know if you're doing direct outreach via Facebook or Instagram. You don't know what you're posting. You don't know whatever it is you're supposed to be doing that's supposed to be filling up your bank account, supposed to be. So by having a daily planner, such as using a notebook, sticky notes, electronics, in the sense of like apps. So for example, the app that I use for all my daily stuff is an app called Notion. That's Notion, and it has a lot of different things. Like it has to-do lists, things like that. You can use Trello, and basically what you can do is set up I believe it's called a board on there, and it basically has like a list of things that you haven't started, things that you're doing, and things that are done. And you can kind of customize it from there and do all that kind of stuff. So obviously I can't show you guys mine because I got stuff on there that you guys don't need to see. But that said, it's really, really simple, and it's also free. Like I don't pay a single dime for Notion. I'm pretty sure you can, but I don't need to because I just use it for the very base level. And once again, there's apps like Trello and stuff like that. Like these things are all free. Notebooks and sticky notes, I mean, Jesus, they basically should be free. Like they're, it's like less than $5 kind of thing. So if you can't spend $5 in your organization or less, then you probably just shouldn't be in business, quite frankly. That's just some lazy shit. Then from there, a really, really big question I get all the time is on CRMs or just software in general. Mostly CRMs though. Because a lot of agents, I mean, I'm not gonna call anyone out because I still love you guys, but I've worked with some agents who are really successful, but they use like Google spreadsheets or they just use like Excel to track their leads, which would drive me up a fucking wall. I cannot do it for the life of me. I use Pipedrive. That's what me and my team have used for the last 2 years now, and I swear by it. It's like, well, I'm grandfathered in, so it's like $15 a month for me, but I think it's like $20 a month now, something like that. Pretty cheap. And an insanely good CRM. However, the one downside, in my opinion, is that unless you know how to actually like link it up with different software by using I'll go into it a little bit later, like the software Zapier, which is down here, then it can be kind of a pain in the ass. But if you need help with something like that, then I can always help you guys out. And if you just ask me for help, because I'm here to be a resource. And other ones I recommend, LionDesk. I fucking swear by that thing. That is one of the best real estate CRMs ever. Follow Up Boss is the big daddy real estate CRM. I love it so very much because it has call recording and a different phone number. So I'm very anal about like making sure I can actually listen back to calls and seeing where I fucked up or one of my team members fucked up, whatever. And also even for our agents, seeing, hey, where did you go wrong or where did you go right? And what can you bring into your next meeting or call or whatever that will improve the quality of it? Because I know no one wants to hear their voice. Everyone hates it. No one wants to everyone cringes at it. But seriously, it is one of the most helpful things in the world because you have to criticize yourself so that way you can grow. And you have to be willing to be criticized by other people. So have, like if you have a mentor, have your mentor listen to one of your calls or listen to part of your call and say, hey, what could I have done better here? What did I do right here? And so on. Like you just have to accept the discomfort because it's going to make you a better business owner. It's going to make you a better realtor overall. And KV Core, that's I forgot if you can get that on its own, honestly. But I know EXP and some other brokerages just like have it and they use it for all their agents. I like it a lot. One thing I will say about the CRM is any CRM that allows you to run Facebook, Google, or whatever paid ads directly through it, just don't do it. It doesn't matter how much like the CRM, like even if LionDesk offered that, I would still tell you not to do it because when you run ads, you want to run it off that software directly, not just through some third party that also kind of goes through it. You don't really like have control or anything. That's a story for another day. So that said, you also need to be taking notes on these leads. So a lot of people will just have people in their CRM and just put their names down and their phone number and email, but they won't take notes. You need to know every fucking thing you can about that lead. So that way you can get on a call with them, get in a meeting with them, have a listing appointment, buyer's appointment, buyer's consult, whatever, and know exactly everything that you could possibly need to know about their situation. And also, it just helps build rapport because you actually remembered something about them. You're not just they're not just some like expendable number to you. Or at least like they don't feel that way. And then, as I said, Zapier is a really, really good software. There's just too much to cover for one video to ever do it justice. And some of you who are in our training program and work with me, you guys know how deep that software goes. So that said, what it basically does is links everything up. So like say you run Facebook ads and you want to send it to a CRM and then put it in automation through ActiveCampaign, like an email automation. Zapier basically links up starting from a Facebook ad all the way to like sending you text, email notifications, sending it to your CRM, sending it to ActiveCampaign and all that. Like it is used in every single asset of my business. Like everything that possibly could be used to link up, Zapier is there somewhere on the back end. Like I have probably about 50 Zaps just for my own agency alone. And I mean, for our clients, we have to use it. Like there's no other choice. It's just really, really good software and it's, it links everything up. And then from there, your key performance indicators or KPIs. This is really, really annoying. I hate it personally, but you got to do it. It's the worst part. You need to be tracking things. So I'm sure you can find a KPI tracker online. And also, I mean, like you can just use your CRM for it as well. There's a lot of different ways to do it. Like think creatively. Don't just like think in a box. Think outside the box. You should be tracking your outreach. You should be tracking people you added for the day on social media, appointments booked, also where they came from. Really, really important so you know. Your follow-up and then close deals and all that kind of stuff. Like track the entire sales process so you can reverse engineer and say, all right, well, if I want to hit, say you want to close 3 extra deals next month, and out of every 100 messages you send on Facebook, let's just say, because that's a kind of a weird number. Let's say you send 40 messages a day on Facebook and you add 100 people a day. And out of those 40 messages, you get maybe 20 responses. And then out of those 20 responses, you actually book appointments with like 5 to 10 of those people. And, then from there, you say out of the 10 people, only, 1 or 2 closes. All right. Well, you can do the math there. I'm not going to do the math for you right now. I just had my coffee, so I'm not doing that. But you can kind of do the math and reverse engineer it. That's something that I'm actually going to release out for you guys anyway, like kind of a reverse engineering formula. It's not hard. It's just, it requires tracking and it requires effort. That's the hard part. And then consistency itself. Having the previously mentioned organization methods is what's going to stay, keep you consistent. Like I know it's a really kind of short thing, but like you have to have those things in place, especially organization wise, to maintain that consistency and maintain the motivation to be consistent. Because if you don't, then it's like going to the gym and not knowing how much, and this is something that I've done too. It's like going to the gym and not knowing how much you weigh, but just wanting to lose weight in general. and not tracking the numbers. And I can tell you that every single time that I've done that personally, I like, I'll lose some weight and whatever, but like I just kind of don't know where the fuck I am. But when I got a scale, like a proper scale, I got one off Amazon. It was really cheap. It was like $20. Great scale, by the way. It's the Renfo, fun fact. But I got that scale, and what I did was I tracked my starting weight all the way through, like over the course of probably like 3 months, and I was able to see the exact change verbatim and like everything. And it tracks all the stuff for you, so that way, like all you do is just get in the scale and just hope that you you didn't overeat during Thanksgiving, and it's pretty simple. And burnout really only happens because of that, because of a lack of trackable results. So your mind's just going to trick itself and being like, oh, well, of course none of this shit works because I don't know where the fuck anything's coming from. I don't know how I'm even getting the result in the first place. So it's just going to start creating self-sabotage, and it's going to disguise it as, oh, things aren't working and blah, blah, blah. And that's a really big thing that I want to kind of sidebar on is the ego. Our egos try and defend themselves to the death. Mine still does, even though I'm really aware of it and I actively don't really like it. I don't really have it doing anything. Like I still have moments where I have ego slip out. It's just like self-defense, trying to just protect my own feelings. But seriously, the reason you're probably burnt out, and this is the reason I've been burnt out before, is because you didn't have goals in place. So of course you don't know where the fuck you're going if you don't have goals, and you also didn't have a plan to get there, and you weren't tracking the results. It's that simple. I know it sucks, but you gotta take some sort of responsibility for it. That's gonna save you guys a lot of time and a lot of pain. And really importantly, consistency is really fucking hard. There's no other way around it. Like you just have to do it. Like you think I wanna come in to the office every day and just fucking do direct outreach and make sure that one of my team members is sending out emails right and making sure that my calendar's full and everyone's busy and all that kind of shit. Like I don't feel like doing that every day. Like, that's why I have bags under my eyes. I'm only 22. At the time of this recording, I'm only 22 with bags under my eyes. So what does that tell you? But being consistent and having been consistent before in my life, I got to see really, really good results. And when I stopped doing that, I got punched in the mouth and taught me a lesson right there. So I was like, all right, well, I just need to be more consistent and stop fucking around. And a lot of you guys, like, I see a lot all the time, like agents taking selfies and just like posting random shit. And it makes me mad, not because I'm jealous. Like, some of you are beautiful people. Good job. I'm glad you got good genes. I'm happy for you that you have abs or a giant butt. Like, good job. But none of that shit is going to do anything for you because you're being inconsistent everywhere else. Because almost all the time I see these posts, when people are posting just stupid shit, I'll go look at their Facebook profile, their Instagram, and they're not posting anything about business, and they're not doing any business because they aren't being consistent anywhere. They're just being consistent and fucking saying that they're a realtor. No one gives a shit about that. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but that's the way it works. And the sooner you get over that, the sooner you can get results. Then from here, you have accountability. So, having your day plan, everything tracked, and maintaining consistency. Once again, those are all the things that keep you accountable. Because the success, it comes from, I forgot who I heard it from, but I've heard from a lot of different people at this point. But the success comes from keeping promises to yourself. So when I say promises in parentheses, it's just more so like, okay, well, say you do want to go and make $100,000 in your first year as a real estate agent. All right, well, how are you going to do that? Plan that out. Okay, how are you going to maintain that plan? Make sure it's realistic. Do not do some shit where you're just like, oh, I'm going to make 3,000 cold calls a day and I'm going to go door knock and do all this shit because you have mental bandwidth. You will burn out very fucking fast. I'll give you guys an example. For me, I was like, all right, well, I want to hit XYZ goal on my business and I want to make sure I surpass multi-six figures. So I was like, okay, well, I got to do more work. So I was like, I got to send like 100 messages a day and somehow get around Facebook's algorithm before it fucking snipes me for sending so many messages. I got to add like 200 people a day. I got to go post every day. And then on top of that, I had to make sure I have X amount of sales calls every single day. And then on top of that, I want to go and hit the gym twice a day and make sure I work on mobility specifically and then also do weightlifting and also take Spanish every fucking day, which was 30 minutes a day, but still. Oh, and then make sure I have a reading material, read a book like for next, for 2 hours prior to me going to bed. Do you see how much that shit is? Like, sure, you're the Gary Vee and you want to like, oh yeah, I can do it. I can just, what is this book? Jab, jab, right hook. I don't know. Like, I can do it all and I'm immune to it. But I can guarantee you will burn out so fucking fast. Because one of my coaches had to pull me aside basically and was like, dude, we gotta like clear your fucking your whole planner and like give you 4 things to do during the day. Like you do not need all this shit because over time it's gonna burn you out. And motivate yourself with different milestones. So like if as I said here, if you close 3 transactions this month, or reward yourself with a nice steak dinner. If you're a vegan, have whatever the fuck vegans eat, cardboard with salt and pepper. I don't know. And and then from there, if you break through 100K GCI for the year or whatever your GCI goal is, you go on vacation somewhere for a few days, not for 3 fucking weeks where you're lazy, for a few days, and then come back and get right on that routine. And if anything, create a routine to maintain while you're there that is maybe is a little bit less work oriented, but still maintain a routine. Like for me, I'm gonna be going to Playa del Carmen, Mexico, for a month and maybe longer. And while I'm down there, I need to maintain my entire schedule. So I gotta find an office. I gotta make sure the place the Airbnb I stay at has a nice gym, or I find a nice gym that's I can't really say it's gonna be overpriced because U.S. dollar to Mexican peso. That you gotta love the conversion rates. But regardless, I have to find all these things and make sure that basically my day can continue uninterrupted and it can go at a very nice pace to where I'm not like hiking an hour to a gym or hiking 3 hours to go and to go to the grocery store or something like that. Like in Playa del Carmen, it's kind of hard because I'm gonna be staying in a city. But you guys get the point. Like you have to maintain that, and you have to keep some sort of structure because when you don't, you will get lazy. I have learned my lesson. There were 3 weeks last year in 2020 towards the end of the year where I went to Fort Lauderdale, Los Angeles, and Houston, Texas, all back to back 3 weeks in a row, 3 weekends in a row. And granted, those were insanely fun trips. I would do them again in a heartbeat, but I did not maintain my consistency throughout all of them because I was too busy fucking around, and it lost me some business. It made me kind of falter a little bit, and I was like, oh shit, well, now I gotta play catch up. So don't do that to yourself. And then finally, just do the work, because you are ultimately the creator and destroyer of your own universe, and it's only you who is responsible. So the mind's gonna play games with itself. It's gonna say, oh well, this fucked up because of someone else, or oh well, I need to blame someone for this, or oh well, like you're just gonna create problems for yourself, and that's just what the mind does because it's fucking bored. It has to have a game to play so that way it can just keep progressing or feel like it's progressing through life. And I'm here to tell you, you gotta master that shit, and you just gotta say, all right, well, I have to get XYZ work done. It just has to be done. There's no negotiable here. And look, like if you have a hard day of like something like you're not always gonna want to work, that's fine. Like probably yesterday was a day where I kind of barely got work done, but I still got some of it done, and I was like, all right, well, I got work done, so I can't. It was like I didn't get much though, so I was like, why the fuck am I gonna play Call of Duty Warzone? If you play Warzone, good for you, you're cultured. I was like, why the fuck am I gonna play Warzone? Like I'm just gonna go read a book. Like I had this book, The Kabbalion, really really phenomenal book about the hermetic principles of the universe. It's really deep stuff. So I was like, well, let me just read that for like the hour or two I would have played COD, and then go to sleep and be up in the morning and go to the office and actually get work done. You guys see what I'm saying here? Like you have to you don't want to punish yourself, but you also need to be real with yourself and say, did I earn this? Did I earn this break or this what's the word I'm looking for? Recreational activity? Like, did I do enough work? Was I productive today? Like, did I help people? Did I serve my clients? Like, you should be asking yourself these questions, and if you didn't, then just understand that it's okay because you're human and you're not always going to be perfect. Sorry, I got a crack in my neck, man. I got like super deep into stuff. But you should also forgive yourself and just say, okay, well, I need to move forward and do it better tomorrow. It's not always about like, oh, well, like some people will say, oh, well, you can't just say I'll do it better tomorrow. Like, you do it better now. Like, obviously, apply it, as soon as you can. But also, be real with yourself and say, I forgive myself for fucking up, and I'm going to do better, now or tomorrow, and, just keep it moving. So anyway, guys, hopefully this helps you out, and I will catch you in the next video.